I argue that a user test is probably the single most important thing that a product owner does in their job. A user test is basically two parts, and it's in this order intentionally. The first part is meant to answer the question, can they figure out how to use your product? The second part is meant to answer the question, okay, now that they know how to use the product, would they use the product? And if not, what would it take to get this person to actually want to buy the product? The first part is really essentially a usability test. As such, the product owner and hopefully the designer and the engineer, if at all possible, are all watching that usability test. Typically, it's moderated by a user researcher if you have a user researcher. Otherwise, it's the designer that typically moderates the usability test component. Very good to do, very easy to do, and the learnings are very quick and the benefits come fast. You should view that as the warm-up. The real benefit of a user test is the second part, also known as the value test. This is where we're trying to figure out, now that they actually understand what this product is and what it does, now you can have a really informed, useful conversation about would they actually use it, would they actually buy it? And very often I'll tell you the answer is no, or maybe, which is essentially no. And what you want to know is what would it take in order to get them. Now, a lot of people just ask the user you're testing, would they buy it? And they say something like probably or yes, and they are very happy and they go back and celebrate. One question I love to ask is the Net Promoter Score question, which is on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely would you be to recommend this product to your colleagues? And unless they say 9 or 10, they basically mean they're being polite is what's going on. They usually give you an answer like 5, 6, or 7 when you're just getting going. But when they say 9 or 10, they mean it, generally. There are other techniques we have to assess value. But overall, you don't want to leave that test until you know the answer to that question deeply. Would they choose to buy that product? And if not, why not? At this point, it's not the user researcher that's facilitating. Now the product owner takes over. They are actually driving on this question and following the discussion to try to get to an answer to that question. Once you've actually done that value test, or while you're even doing that value test, you need to be really open to what we call the pivot. You may decide through the course of this dialogue about what it would take for them to use it that, first of all, you may decide it's the wrong customer. There's somebody else in that business that actually needs your help. Or you might decide that you're really solving the wrong problem for them. If you just adjust the problem you're solving to where their pain is, you've got a much more valuable product on your hands. Very often what we decide is that the solution you have has got the wrong approach and you need to take a different tack at solving that problem for that customer. And sometimes we find that it's the monetization strategy that's wrong, and that if you just adjust that strategy, you'll have much more success. Be very open to those pivots. They're often the key to a big win.